Hey, how's it going? I'm super glad to be on this call with you right now because if you're on this call, that means you're facing one of three potentially dangerous pitfalls when regards to your trading, right? Number one, you don't have the time to trade, right? So that means, you know everything else, right? You have all of the things to actually be successful. You just don't have the time, right? Whether it be to do to kids, do your job, family, whatever, right? You may not have the time to trade. Number two, the reason why you're here is because you don't have the skills to actually trade, right? Like you know what to buy, you just don't know how to buy, right? Or when to buy, or why to sell for that matter as well, right? And number three, which is another huge one, is you may not have the funds to actually get started trading, right? You may not have the money to actually go and afford a share of Berkshire Hathaway or whatever, right? No matter what you face, right? We're going to absolutely obliterate each and every single one of those, items on this call, right? So there's another reason why I'm super excited, that you're on the call. And with that being said, let me go ahead and share my screen with you because I want to walk you through this, okay? Let's go ahead and pop this open. Okay. Hopefully you can go ahead and see this, right? If you can see this, go ahead and just say, yeah, Tim, I can see this, right? With that being said, let me go ahead and just, tell you right now, right? These are the reasons why you're not profitable in your trading, right? Plain and simple, right? Number one, as I mentioned, right, you don't have the skill. And by the end of this video, right, I'm going to go over the solution to this problem, right? Number two, right, you may not have the time, right? And again, by the end of this video, I'm going to go over this solution as well, right? Number three, you may not have the money, right? And again, by the end of the video, I'm going to go over the solution with you, right away, right? So let me just go ahead and before I do that, tell you a little bit about myself, right? Hey, listen, I'm not a math whiz, right? And I'm not a stock market guru. I don't really know much, right? But what I can tell you is, and before I tell you, right, let me just say one more thing, right? My teachers actually hated me, right? So not only was I not good at math, not only was I not a stock market guru, right, but like in fact in school I was absolutely atrocious. I was the kind of kid who, again, my teachers hated me. I was the class clown. I was, just a troublemaker all in all, right? But, that being said, that did not, prevent me from doing some cool stuff. Check this out. So I started off here, right? My teachers hated me. I was not a math whiz. I was absolutely sort of a troublemaker, right? Transparently, right? Yeah, but listen, I started trading stocks at 17. And, because of the fact that I was, atrocious at most things at this time, I went ahead and lost 70% of my money in the stock market in about a week, right? It was horrible, right? But again, I put in some crazy work, right? I took a duffel bag full of books and a sleeping bag to my school's, quiet study room. And, I put in that work, right? And from there, I actually landed a private equity internship under a Goldman Sachs alumni. And then after that, I got invited to go to New York, right? In a big investment bank, flew me out, right? A world-class investment bank flew me out to New York. And actually I was a part of, this big event, of rising leaders and stuff like that. And, after that, my career really started to take off, right? I was able to buy my family a house in all cash. And the reason that is because of the skills that I learned right here, right? I was able to buy my family a house in all cash. I made my family over $1 million when I was 20 years old. I landed on a radio show. So many different things happened, that were positive in my life because of what happened in this sort of area right here, okay? In that red square, right? And so what I want to do here is, right, is sort of explain to you now, right, what I learned in that sort of space and time, because it's going to be directly beneficial to you to making sure your trades are actually profitable, right? Because again, if I could do it, someone that literally started at absolutely nothing, right? People did not like me. I was not smart. I was not special. I was none of those things, right? If I can go from that person to making over $1 million at 20 years old for my family and buying them a house in Southern California in all cash, believe me, you can too, okay? So let's go over this. And again, so here's the picture of my family's house that I bought, right? Again, I bought this at 20 years old because of my stock market funds. But let's go over this, right? Let's go over really, right, the answers and the solutions to the reason why you're not profitable, right? So number one, if you don't have the skills to trade, right, let's just say you know how to trade Amazon, but you know that you want to buy Amazon, but you don't know how to trade, right? You don't know why to trade. You don't know when to trade. Number one, right, this means you do not have skill, right? And so when you're trading right now, what it actually probably looks like is that you're guessing, right? Or you're gambling with your money, right? And you know, sometimes you win, but you know, for the most part, you actually probably lose a significant amount of money. But don't worry, we don't have to tell anybody. And hopefully you can nip it in the bud before it goes on any further, because the solution to that problem is a strategy, right? A trading strategy. And this may be, you know, a new topic for you, a new concept for you, a new sort of thing for you, or, you know, you may have heard of this before, right? You know, but either way, right, the major thing is, right, you need to know when to buy and when to sell, that so you can consistently make profit over time, okay? And this strategy, right, or this sort of concept of strategies does exactly that, right? So I just want to let you know that's solution number one, right? And problem number two, right, maybe you're facing this problem. And by the way, I have to go back, right? There's problem number one, solution number two. Don't worry about that. We'll make sure this is right. So problem number two, you're facing no time, right? You have no time. So if you are facing this problem right here, right, you are likely going about, about your day, right? And you might, you know, be receiving signals from a signals group, right? You might have a strategy, right? You might have everything it takes to actually be successful, but you may not have the time because of family commitments, because of your job commitments, because of some other commitments that are taking up all of your time, right? And so you're not actually able to be profitable because you just don't have the time to be profitable, right? And so in that case, the solution to that problem is, boom, trade bots, right? Which is probably the reason why you're on this call in the first place. You're probably looking to actually use some trading bots to actually become more and more successful in the stock market. And let me tell you, in this part of my life, when I had to actually make trading bots, there was actually two options, right? Either you had to go and just trade manually, how like you always do, right? Or you can go ahead and teach yourself how to code, right? It would take, you know, months, if not years. If you're fanatical like me, it would take like months. But even then, most people are not willing to put the work in that I'm willing to put into work, right? So with that being said, you face two, right, solutions: either go trade manually or build your own bot. And either way, neither of those are the best option. I'll explain to you, you know, more about the best option inside of this challenge that you'll be a part of, right? But again, finally, problem number three, you may not have the money, right, to actually be profitable, right? Which means you're probably either making only a couple bucks a day, right, or, you know, maybe even like pennies a day, or you're having to take out massive leverage and take on massive risk so that, you know, you can actually make some meaningful money. But whenever you lose like a percentage point, your entire account crashes, right? So if you don't have money to actually invest with, right, you might take, you know, crazy risk to actually make up for the fact that you don't have that money. And so the solution for that is, hey, this makes sense, right? Use other people's money, right? And again, we're going to go over actually the details about how to actually get other people to fund your accounts, you know, with really like minimal effort, right, inside of this program. And so again, last thing I want to say is, listen, a lot of very successful investors, in fact, every single successful investor who's ever lived has gone through this exact same framework, right? And this exact same plan, right? So every from, you know, Jim Simmons to Ray Dalio to Warren Buffett, each of them has strategy. Each of them uses other people's money to invest, right? And each of them pretty much has it completely automated through, you know, their systems that they've built over the years, right? And specifically, you know, Jim Simmons and Ray Dalio use algorithmic trading, you know, on a daily basis, right? On a second by second basis. And now even, you know, again, our customers are joining in. So with that being said, I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and hopefully I've been able to sort of show you, right, in this few couple minutes that we've been together on this call, you know, exactly, you know, the solution to not only, if you don't have any skills, you have to learn a strategy. Number two, if you don't have the time, you actually have to get a trading bot to trade for you, right? Number three, finally, right, if you don't have the money to trade, go ahead and get other people's money to trade for you, right? And if you don't know, or you want to learn more about, you know, exactly how to actually do those things, right, and how to actually execute on actually learning the skills, on actually building the trading bots, and actually, you know, getting other people's money to trade with, join this challenge right now, because literally, not only, I know it says, you know, your first bot challenge, but not only do we cover how to build your first bot, right, but we also cover how to get other people's money, how to get other people's money to trade with, how to freaking actually learn the skills to actually trade successfully and profitably over the course of time, and literally so much more, right? So click the link down below to get started and join us, right, on this challenge. And again, space is, very limited, and literally this challenge is only guaranteed to be available by the end of tonight, right, at midnight. So, this challenge might be down literally tomorrow, right? I'm not sure how long we're gonna keep it up. We really don't know yet. There's no time on and no deadline, but it's only guaranteed to be open until tonight, and there's limited space available. So make sure that you sign up at the link below, right? Click any of the red buttons on this page, and it'll take you down. And I cannot wait to get started with you. This is gonna be a blast, and I look forward to seeing you inside. Bye-bye.